Okay, we are live. I'll give you guys a few seconds to jump into the chat room. I don't think my notifications went out because I just went live really quick. So I didn't set up the stream or anything like that. So I'm sure it'll take you guys a few minutes to know that we're live. So I'll give you that few minutes to get into the chat. But of course, if you're watching, make sure you hit the like button. If you're brand new here, sub up the channel, all that good stuff that you're supposed to do as a good YouTube viewer. All right. And of course, we're going to be talking about some sensitive topics today. So I want to give my warnings. I see you guys jumping into the chat now. Dolly Visions for entertainment purposes only. We talk news, rumors, gossip, speculation, theories, mixed with a little bit of comedy and a whole lot of chaos. So don't take nothing as fact. It's just my opinion, people. We're not taking calls because I'm in my car. Also, everyone's innocent to proven guilty in a court of law. And the biggest one of them all is whatever you do not try to be Dolly at home, okay? I'm actually waiting to get some food. The guy's on break that runs this little Dominic's. I'm trying to get me a chicken sandwich. So I had a few minutes to kill, so I figured I'd come up here and talk a little bit about these cases with you and what's going on in Sebastian Rogers, Jack and Lilly Sullivan, those type of things. So I've been doing more streams on the go lately, which I kind of dig doing them, you know. I don't mind doing it, you know. So, plus it's a really nice day here in Virginia, and the sun's out, and it's got a cool breeze, but sunny. So it's a nice day to be alive, okay? Just to be alive. So last night we went over, of course, Sebastian Rogers. And, you know, his father came up and did a pretty long video, you know, still pointing the fingers at people and stuff like that. Which, you know, I wish all that would stop. All the blaming. The blame game has been going on for 2 years. And I'm just hoping that we can get past that and people can realize that this is about Sebastian and not about who they like or who they dislike. And a lot of people left comments saying that Seth Rogers had a little bit too much to drink and was wearing his heart on his sleeve last night. And I understand it. I even read the comments. They were like, Dolly, you don't understand. You don't have a missing kid. And you are absolutely right, people. I don't have a missing kid. And I probably could never truly understand it. But in my mind, I think, well, what if my kid was missing? What would I do? What would I do different than a lot of these people are doing? And I mean, that's all I really can do is hypothetically think about what difference would there be in me than, let's say, a Seth Rogers or somebody like that, or a Chris and Katie Proudfoot. Because so many people think I'm anti-Seth Rogers, and I truly am not. I'm probably a little more judgmental on Seth Rogers because he gives us more to judge. Okay, honestly, there's more of Seth Rogers on the internet than there is anybody else. So, of course, we're going to have more to say about Seth Rogers and his actions because he gives us more to see and to talk about. I don't pick a side in missing kid cases. I truly don't. So many people are like, Dolly, you're on the wrong side, or you're taking up for the Proudfoots, or no, I'm just speaking on Seth because Seth has done something. If I was speaking on the Proudfoots, I would tell you, hey, I'm kind of suspicious of these people. Not that they did it, because I don't have any proof. And people don't like that. People like you to blame people. I think people on YouTube want you to pick a side. They want a firm, you did it kind of attitude. And if you're saying exactly what they think, they're in your corner, right? But if you're just neutral in it and say, hey, this is more about Sebastian, they don't want to hear that. They don't want that on the fence shit here on YouTube. I swear you guys don't. Y'all want it one way or the other. They're innocent or they're guilty. It's no in between. But I believe that, you know, we need to find Sebastian first and foremost, right? And then when we find Sebastian, I think those answers will come once we find Sebastian. I think people are jumping the gun a little bit and wanting to prosecute before there's a case built, right? And is it possible that Chris and Katie have something to do with this? I would say yes, right? Is it a possibility that Sebastian Rogers could have ran away? I would say yes. Could Sebastian Rogers survive on his own? I think is the big question. And I don't think he did. Okay? I don't think this little boy, but then again, listen, we know, let's be honest, we know very little about Sebastian Rogers. We only know what we've been told. And in the beginning, we were told that he was very low functioning. But now we're finding out that he's really more high functioning than what people actually told us. Listen, Rose, I don't think he ran away either. I honestly don't. I think something is going on. I don't know exactly what. I don't think the Sumner County Police know exactly what. We have our suspicions, but suspicions don't prosecute, okay? We can't put you in prison over suspicions. We got to know you committed a crime. Look at Ashley Buzzard right now, right? Ashley Buzzard's daughter's missing. She won't tell where the child is at. There's no evidence she committed a crime, so they're not arresting her because there's no evidence. That the key word here is evidence. There's no signs of foul play. The police have said that. They have continued to say that there's no signs of foul play. They've said that they vetted.
That's pretty.
Thank you. The guy just walked up to my car and said, "Your car is pretty." That's random. It is pretty, though. It is a pretty car. But there's no signs of evidence, no signs of foul play. And according to the police, the family has cooperated. Now, has the family cooperated with YouTube, right? That's the million-dollar question. And I would say no. They have been very uncooperative with YouTube. But we don't know what's happening with the police. We know that Chris and Katie allegedly, and I'm going to say allegedly, went in and took a lie detector test and passed it. All right? Now, this is where we get, this is what I'm saying, but nobody on the internet believes that. You know, they still believe that Chris was there. Chris had something to do with it. And listen, I'm not saying you're wrong. I'm not saying you're wrong at all. You could be absolutely right. Chris could have something to do with it. Katie could have did it. All those things. All I'm trying to say is we don't have the proof. Okay? We have the suspicion that has occurred, but we don't have the proof that has occurred. Now, will that proof come one day? Maybe. I hope so, right? But what I'm saying is we played the blame game. Everybody's been pointing a finger at Chris and Katie. And listen, you got to understand, when a person goes missing, usually the last person seen with you is the person that is most likely responsible for this. So it's understandable for people to want to blame Katie, even me, right? You know, the Katie come clean type thing. And we did that. We did that. You know, it's almost like kicking a dead horse at this point, because nothing is changing by just blaming the family, right? Just nothing's changing. Now, I think there's other ways we could go about it, and people really want these people divided, right? Because people get in the Sev's chat and they down Chris and Katie, and they may be responsible, but what about that slight chance that they're not? That's where it gets a little crazy. Okay, people walking by my car. I am sitting in the parking lot, so, you know. But that slight chance that these people are innocent and they're just acting odd. Now, I had to say that if Katie is innocent, she acts guilty. I mean, it's true. She absolutely acts guilty because of her, you know, the refusing of the interviews in the beginning, and her actions seem to be the actions of somebody that has something to hide. Now, that's just my perception of her behavior, right? And I'm sure a lot of you guys perceive it the same way I do. Now, just because you act guilty doesn't mean you're guilty. Most of the time it does. Most of the time. But there's that slight chance that you're just an odd ass person. All right? And if Katie knows more, I wish she would tell. And I mean by more, if you did something, if y'all had an argument and this kid did run out the house mad at you over something that was said or something that was going on in that house, I wish we knew that, right? Because she gives us really very little. If anything, right? If anything, usually we hear things from Chris, right? And Chris is rough around the edges, okay? He's hard to like, okay? He's just a hard man to like. Let's be 100% honest. He is a hard dude to like. He just comes off short-tempered, angry, and, you know, we've heard a lot of bad things about how he treated Sebastian. So most people just have this nasty, nasty taste in their mouth for Chris, right? Mine is because I ate a BC powder. Let me hit this drink. So, and that makes people 100% believe that Chris is responsible. And so many people blame Chris, and they give Katie a free pass. 63 likes, that's it? There's like almost 400 of you in here. We got 63 likes. Good Lord. I'm about to rage quit. All right, is this dude back yet? Good. No, he's not back yet. I'm trying to get me a sandwich. And they have a sign on the window that says, be right back. That's been 10 minutes ago, right? 11 minutes, because I've been live with you guys for 11 minutes. They still ain't back. He must be on his half-hour lunch break. Chris is a first class, that's a jerk. Yeah, he comes off like that. Now, you know, how would he be if he wasn't, you were dealing with Chris in a situation that wasn't like this? I don't think he'd be much different. I honestly don't. I think he would be short-tempered in real life on other things too. I truly do. But in the beginning, you know, this family was willing to work together. Then some things happened, you know, that wedge came in between them, you know, because people forget that Chris and Seth were working together. They were out searching together. They were out searching homeless encampments together. You know, I've heard bad things about Chris, and I've seen some good things Chris has done with Sebastian, like teaching him how to ride a bike, teaching him how to ride an excavator. I don't know where everything went wrong, because if you look at a whole, it seems like in the beginning Chris and Sebastian got along. But, you know, as kids grow up, they become a little more rebellious. And did Sebastian get too hard for Chris to handle? And was Sebastian back talking? I mean, I'm just thinking theories of what could have went wrong in his family that seemed to be going okay in the beginning, right? Because something had to take a left turn somewhere to get us to where we're at, if these people are involved, or if there's more to the story than we're being told. And we know there's, listen, let's be honest. What we were told in the beginning was some BS. I mean, they made us think like Sebastian was wearing diapers all the time and he could barely say his name. I believe the reason Amber Alert went out is because the police believed Sebastian was the same way we did, that he was almost non-functional and couldn't take care of himself. But come to find out, Sebastian could absolutely take care of himself. Now, what makes me think he's not with us anymore out there on his own if he ran away is because he ran away with no jacket and, of course, no shoes on. And it was wintertime. Hold on, guys. Let me order my sandwich, and I'll be right back with you. All right? Where's my keys? I don't want nobody to steal my car. Okay, I'm back. I just had to order my food real quick. Where was I at? Anybody can tell me? Oh, basically, you know, the police took out this, they issued this Amber Alert because they believed the same thing we believed, that Sebastian wasn't very functional. And come to find out, Sebastian was taking care of himself for 12, 13 hours at a time at Sev's house and also at Chris and Katie's house, right? That he would come home from school, get off the bus, go in the house, and Katie and Chris would still be at work. So he was taking care of himself. So basically, Sebastian is on the spectrum, but they sold us wolf tickets, you know, to make us really feel sorry for that. They had a missing boy that had all these certain needs, and like if he didn't have his medicine, he would die. And really, the only thing Sebastian took, according to his father, is something to help him sleep. Now that's scary because, you know, Seth took a lie detector test, and this is what Seth truly believes because he passed on the lie detector test for it. He told them on Nancy that he believed that Katie over-medicated Sebastian Rogers. And now we do know later on that the only medicine Sebastian was on was for sleeping. One thing you don't want to do in this world is take too many sleeping pills. All right? Because a lot of people, and I mean a lot of people, have checked out this world from being over-medicated or accidentally taking too much medicine, and it kills them. Okay? Matter of fact, I had an ex-girlfriend. She took too much of her medicine, and she died. Okay? Horrible as it is, she was a really nice, sweet girl. She had some problems with pain, and she took some pain medicine and mixed it with a sleeping pill. And they found her. She was alive when they found her, but she was non-responsive. Time she made it to the hospital, she died. And she left behind 2 little kids. Total accident. You just over-medicated herself, and not trying to hurt herself, but just trying to fight the pain, and couldn't sleep. And the mixture of the combination was too much for her. She was a small woman, you know, and it killed her. So you got to remember, Sebastian's a small boy, and I don't know what medicines he was prescribed or how strong the medicines were or any of that. But you know, we hear the thing about the thud, and was that Sebastian possibly falling? Could somebody? This is all hypothetical and theories, guys. There's no proof to any of this that I'm saying. I just want y'all to know that. I don't want anybody, you know, I'm not saying that they killed their kid. I'm just trying to think of things that are possible that could have happened. And, you know, he hit his head or something like that. We got to remember that there was probably no blood in the house. So however, if he met a tragic fate in that house, it wasn't bloody. Okay? Because the technology they got right now, you can paint the room, scrub the floor, bleach it down, and they will still find blood. Okay? It's crazy, but they can. That Red Star and Luminol, it works. I learned a lot in the Harmony Montgomery case with the Luminol and the Red Star of what it can find and what it, you know, how long it can trace blood and how much you would have to clean it up to get rid of blood. It's damn near impossible to get rid of blood. I mean, it's like you gotta really, really know what you're doing and have some knowledge of forensics to even get rid of blood. For 1 drop of blood, this is true, you can look this up, it takes 1,000 drops of water to dilute 1 drop of blood to where it cannot be detected. 1,000 drops. So there's 1,000 to 1 ratio when it comes to blood. So there was no crime scene at that house. Okay? No crime scene whatsoever. Which to me says, okay, he wasn't beat to death. I mean, and, you know, we hear Seth truly believes that Katie may over-medicate him. But you got to ask yourself, what makes Seth think that way? Right? What makes him think that way? because he'd been in a relationship with Katie, so he knows Katie pretty good. He's known Katie since she was a kid. Had he ever seen Katie over medicate Sebastian before? Like, oh, let me put him to sleep and let me give him a little bit more than he should. You know, it's like parents that give their kids medicine when they don't need it, so they'll quiet down or go to sleep, right? Is it a situation like that where Seth, I would like to know that from Seth. Had you ever seen her over medicate Sebastian before? Right? And you know, most people though, let's just say you accidentally did something stupid, and or your kid got into the medicine, you gave it to him and then he took it. Most people would call 911, right? Most people would call 911. If something, you know, if something tragic happened to my child, I would definitely call 911 because my first instinct would be to try to save them, you know. And I think that's most people's natural reaction is to call 911 to try to get help there immediately, right? Unless you're a doctor or somebody that could handle a situation like that. But usually, I would say a good majority of people panic when stuff goes down like that. But she didn't do that, right? She didn't do that. And then you know, not only did Sebastian go missing, and this is one thing I wish there was a way to prove. I almost wish that the phone calls, the police would clear this up. Was there other phone calls that lasted 3 hours? Or was this different? Right? Because if this night just like every other night, no big deal then, right? But what made this night seem so different to me is, of course, that 3-hour phone call that took place. Like I said, I've been in a relationship for a long time. Most people, no. I'm actually in the curbside pickup lane. I just stopped to get some food. I'm not picking up. They walked out with some bleach. Nope, that ain't me. I ain't getting none. I just parked here because it was close to, I didn't want to walk far. So, but there's other curbside places that are open. So if somebody needs something, I'm not like blocking them from getting it. But you know, that 3-hour phone call makes me suspicious. Now, like I said, it could be nothing. It could be absolutely nothing. And I'm just overthinking it. And these people talk all the time. PJ seems to think the 3-hour phone call is nothing. But to me, that was one of those things that stuck out, because you could be talking about coming up with an alibi for 3 hours, right? What are we going to do? What are we going to do? Panicking. And he's trying to talk her through this. Because, you know, listen. Now, I'm not the most sociable person on the phone. Right? I just ain't. So, I usually make quick phone calls. Like when me and PJ talk, it's directly to the point. You know, and then that's the phone call. It ain't a whole bunch of just extra stuff that, like, we just hanging out on the phone together. I mean, we hang out together at home. We're always together. There's only so much stuff we have to say to each other, right? But, you know, they have been gone away from each other for months with him working. So some people say it's normal. And PJ points to the fact that he gets up online, and when he gets in these clips, you know, these channels that are crime channels, which I don't know why he does that. That don't help his cause any. When you go on crime channels, why don't you go on true crime channels? Right? You surround yourself with, you know, same thing with Seth. Seth surrounded himself with bad people. Chris and Katie kind of surrounded themselves with bad people too. Well, not the best people. Why? Why is that? That kind of blows my mind. That is just weird. Like, you would think you would want to be around good, genuine people, but that don't seem to be the case. Okay, guys, give me a second. I may have to go grab my sandwich. My credit card is in my phone case. So. All right, got it. Let me set this back up here. I'm gonna set y'all right here for a minute, guys, because sometimes my phone overheats right there, sitting in the window like that. Oh, hold on, y'all can't see. I'm going to set it right there for a second. Give me a minute. I'm going to go grab my food. I'm only like right there. And I'll come back and I'll just tell y'all what I want to tell y'all. So give me 1 second. Take a second while y'all here and like the video. It'll give you a minute to do that. I'm back. Okay. All right, y'all leave me. You didn't abandon me. All right, I appreciate that. So, the $1 million question is this. This is what gets me the most. You know, to make a long story short, is nobody is really searching for Sebastian Rogers. You know, people give me a hard time. They're like, well, Dolly, Steph is the only person searching for Sebastian Rogers. And I think you guys are wrong right there. Seth is spreading awareness for Sebastian Rogers by going live, by talking, by handing out flyers. He's not out there physically searching for Sebastian. When I say nobody's searching for Sebastian, I mean nobody is physically out there looking through the woods and searching that area for Sebastian Rogers. Of course, his father is doing a good job spreading awareness. Got it on America's Most Wanted, got it on Nancy Grace, Court TV, Vinny talks about it. And I don't think people realize how lucky Seth is, and Chris and Katie, because there's kids that go missing that don't get no national coverage. Jack and Lily Sullivan, 0 national coverage in the Jack and Lily Sullivan case. None. Not a drop. Nada. Okay? So he's so... remember, they didn't issue no Amber Alert in Jack and Lily. Seth got an Amber Alert. Okay? He actually physically got an Amber Alert issued for Sebastian. And I honestly think Sebastian might have been overlooked if it wasn't for Riley Strand. Okay? The college student that went missing in Nashville. Anytime anything happens with a college student, it is huge news in our country. Okay? It just is. And that's what the big news was. You think about it, when Riley Strand was missing, nobody was talking about Sebastian. I mean, I was. But, you know, I cover missing kids. And then, of course, like all these people that joined the green team, they wasn't there then. When in the beginning of this, there was me, JLR, Trev Lee was there. And you had one other person talking about it, and that was Pascal. Right? That was the whole people that was covering the Sebastian Rogers case in the very beginning. The OGs, the originals. Okay? Now there's only one OG left. Right? There's only me. Where did everybody go? They jumped ship because of the behavior of the family. And a lot of times you usually don't have that. Like, you know, families putting YouTubers in jail, other family members suing people, creating RICO charges, and you usually don't have that in a missing kids case, right? And that scared, I think, a lot of people off from this. Or they would, there was a lot of people spreading big awareness, big channels, and they just said, oh no, I don't want to deal with Seth, or I don't want to deal with Chris and Katie. And they just kind of left Sebastian out, which is kind of horrible, right? It's almost like a lot of these people ran off people like purposely. Seth says Chris and Katie don't want people looking for Sebastian. I heard him say that last night, or talking about Sebastian. I think he's played a part in that too, right? I think more people were worried about lawsuits from him and his team of whatever you want to call those people, that scared off a lot of people from spreading awareness about Sebastian. The good thing is awareness is still being spread. After all that, still there's people out here that are bringing up Sebastian. They're sharing his photos. They're talking about Sebastian, which is bringing awareness. My biggest issue, and everybody knows that, is when people don't search for their kids. I think, hold on, let me set this down because I'm getting tired of holding it. I think it's neglectful. You owe that to your child to get out there, be boots on the ground, looking for your kid. Like I tell people in here, if I was missing, I want you guys to search for me. I mean, spreading pictures and talking about me, that's great. But you better get your ass out here and look for me. I could be laid in the woods somewhere with a broken leg, and I'm going to need your help, right? Now, of course, Sebastian ain't been laying in the woods with a broken leg for 2 years. There's no way you can survive that long. But I don't believe this child has been sex trafficked. He's a 17-year-old man. Is it possible? Yes. Highly unlikely? Absolutely. Okay, so I'm not really buying that whole he's been sold into the black market kind of thing that a lot of people are trying to push out here. Usually that's happening to younger kids and to women. I ain't saying it don't happen to young boys. It does. There's predators out there that like young boys. But I don't think this is the case in this situation. There was too much going on in the home for this to be just all coincidental. Oh, well, they were trying to put him in a home. And when I say they, I mean all three of them. I think a lot of things had to fail Sebastian for this all to happen. And like I said, I could sit here and point the fingers and do the blame game all day. That don't do no good. It don't absolutely does any good. Some people think Seth did it. Some people think Chris and Katie did, right? It's true. I've had people come in here and say, man, I don't trust Seth. I think Seth had something to do with it. Now, I've never leaned towards Seth has anything to do with the disappearance of his kid. I just thought Seth was a little bit of an opportunist, and he surrounded himself by bad people that were taking advantage of him. And he still won't admit that the intelligence agency and dog don't have his best interests at heart. And now we all at this point know that that's bullshit, right? But he still runs with it like it's legitimate. And it totally is not. So why he won't come up and say, listen, guys, thank you for your help, but, why do you involve yourself with fraudulent people? I don't get it. I really don't get it. That I don't understand. And when so many people are like, Dolly, you're anti-Seth, I just don't understand Seth. Right? I don't hate Seth. I don't dislike Seth. I just don't understand Seth. Now, Chris a little easy to understand. He's an asshole. Yeah, it's pretty cut and dry, right? He's short-tempered. He's an asshole. You can understand that guy's actions. I don't understand Seth's actions because, he allegedly, he's a correctional officer. I don't even know if he has that job anymore. Some people are saying he guarded a bank now, I don't know. I don't care usually. I'm not a pocket watcher, so I don't care what the man does for a living. It ain't a big deal to me if he's a guard or not. But you would think that if you're a correctional officer and a good person, you would want to be around other good people and surround yourself with what's right. But when you know something's wrong and you just kind of go with it, you're just as fraudulent as them people at this point, right? If you out there screaming there's a $500,000 reward and you know good and well there is not a $500,000 reward, you're deceiving people. And that's wrong. That's absolutely wrong. And if you know you're going along with this dog stuff to help him sell a book while you have a missing kid, to me that is horrible. And I don't understand that, right? Now, I don't hate anybody. I don't come up here to attack anybody. I just come up here to speak what's on my mind. And some people don't like my thoughts, and that's understandable. You don't have to. You have your thoughts, and probably some of those I wouldn't like, okay? But with my channel, I have a microphone and I have a platform. If you know, you don't have to watch me, but if you choose to watch me, at least respect my thoughts, right? You don't have to agree with them. I'm not forcing anybody to be like, Dolly, you're right, or I don't care if you think I'm wrong. Or I'm saying we're all adults and we come here to discuss these missing kids and try to do what we can do to help people. Be respectful of that before, you know, some people want to leave me a hateful comment. Like, listen, you're entitled to your opinion just like I'm entitled to my opinion. And I'm not going to shit on you for your opinion. So please don't do that to me, right? We can be respectful. You can be like, Dolly, I totally disagree with you. What do you think about this? And you know what I would do? I would discuss it with you. I'd be like, well, this is why I think this way. I would explain why I feel the way I do. And I would hope you would do the same thing, because that's how adults handle themselves, right? I want to see some changes. We got a new year coming up, and everything don't have to be the same way. I've been preaching this for the last few days. We need to get everybody on the same page. No more fighting, no more name calling, no more shit talking. Get everybody on the same page. Get people out there searching for Sebastian Rogers. Let's get answers for this child, okay? Because it turned chaos. It turned to a circus. We had lions, tigers, and bears. Oh my, right? We had people that it was more about them and their egos than it was ever about finding Sebastian Rogers. And I just want to get back to the basics. Two simple things. Spread awareness for this child. Get out there and search for this child. If anybody can't agree with that, I don't know what the hell is wrong with you. I honestly don't. Because that's the most important thing right now, is awareness and searching to bring answer for Sebastian Rogers. The rest of the shit is just filler for clicks and views. That's it. That is 100% the truth. Everything else is just, like, we're eating dinner. Them are just sides.
Nice car, bro.
Thank you. Sitting here, I feel like I'm at a car show, right? Damn, bro, like, nice car. Like, I should have parked in the back. But that's the most important thing. And if we could get back to that in 2026, because I think a lot of the bad players are gone, right? I knew that was going to happen, because, you know, these bad people are only here for a moment. Sebastian Rogers don't bring huge clicks and views anymore. You look right now, we're talking Sebastian Rogers. There's 644 people in the room. Back in the day, there'd have been 3,000 people in the room. So it's not big as it once was. So a lot of them people, them bad characters that didn't give a shit anyway, that were here for a paycheck, you know, that were making $20,000 off this kid, they're gone. They're gone. So I think the only people that are mostly left are the good people that really cared and stuck with it, right? So let's use these people that are here for the right reasons to put out a positive message of hope, right? Because any other way, we don't have any hope. If you think these people are going to fight forever and there's hope that Sebastian's going to be found, you're nuts. The only way Sebastian's going to be found is with unity and love. That's it. Or we get lucky and there's a miracle and somebody stumbles across Sebastian. And I want to touch on Jack and Lilly Sullivan. This case is so similar. So similar to the Sebastian Rogers case, but with no national attention. Two children in the home with both members of the family, more, in the grandmother, and vanish without a trace. Okay, somebody says, challenge. I still think Seth is the main suspect. I think Chris and Katie know where Sebastian's at, and they don't have to tell Seth because it's an issue with the child custody. I don't know. I don't know if Seth knows where it's at. You know, listen, we all have our theories. Right? And I ain't saying you can't have your theories. But I'm saying if we just get up here and publicly blame people, it's not good at this point. I think in the beginning, you know, shaking the pot and stirring it and getting people a little riled up so they talk, I think it's fine. But there comes a point where we've gone too far. And I think we've reached that point. Now it's time to reel it back a little bit and try to something different, right? Going into a new year. Listen, we've had 2 years of searching for Sebastian with people doing the blame game, and it didn't work. So let's try a year of something different and see if we get better results. That's all I'm saying to people out there. And I know that's wishful thinking, and most likely that's not going to happen. But somebody has to plant the seed, right? Now, my seed don't grow, it don't grow. But you never know. You plant the seed, it could grow into a beautiful tree. I mean, if it wasn't for somebody planting the seed, I wouldn't be in true crime right now, okay? You know, Stony Stone came in and said, have you ever heard of Sebastian Rogers? All he did was plant a seed. Not Sebastian Rogers, Summer Wells. He planted a seed, and then I got interested in it. And then, boom, here we are 5 years later, a true crime channel. So you never know. That seed could take root, or it could just wither up and die because it don't get watered. Because you have to water the seed, right? The seed of love and hope. It needs a lot of care. And if it don't get that care from the people, it'll never grow. But if people go, you know what, Dolly? You right. I want to water that seed. You know, and try to bring people together and have them put their differences aside. Everybody claims to be Christian, but nobody wants to forgive. Make that make sense. You got to have that forgiveness to your enemies. You know, like I said, PJ tells me I'm way too forgiving. That somebody could do me absolutely dirty and I'll forgive them. And you know what? She's right. But I don't forget what they did. I don't forget what they did. I won't give them the opportunity to do it again. But I forgive them, right? I've done bad, and I would hope for the bad that I've done out here, people have forgiven me. So I have that same hope. When I look at somebody that's done me wrong, I go, well, they did me wrong. Maybe whatever the situation was, they needed this more than I did, or there's a reason for everything that happens. And, you know, if think about this, if the things didn't happen in your life that did, would you be where you're at? And if you're in a good place, I look back and say, well, I wouldn't want to change anything, because right now I'm in a really good place. Why would I want to change anything in my past that may put me somewhere different? Because I'm in a good place. So I have to accept the fact that what was meant to be was meant to be. And even though it was bad, and people are, you know, are human. They make mistakes. They do dirty, underhanded things. But I can't harbor hate for these people. And I'm hoping that Chris and Katie and Seth see things the same way. And they're able to put their little petty stuff aside and come together to try to find Sebastian. That's all I'm hoping for. I know, like I said, wishful thinking, but it never hurts. In the Jack and Lily Sullivan case, everything's absolutely similar, right? We have families that you have a stepdad that's arrogant. You have a stepdad that's cocky, right? You have Daniel Martell. He's, you know, that he said that the dogs wouldn't find Jack and Lily. How did he know that? We have a stepdad that is blaming the mother, but tells different stories to the police and to the media. I mean, a lot of bizarre things, okay? And like I said, Jack and Lily got no national coverage because they're Canadian, right? They only got very little coverage in Canada. Not that many even YouTubers talking about these two kids. Now, how horrible is that, right? Think about this. Seth Rogers got it a lot better than people in the Jack and Lilly case because there's not much to it. You got the RCMP that's just basically like the TBI. They can't figure out damn what their name is, what their badge number is. Be like, listen, if you can't even tell me your badge number, I have no hope you're going to solve a case. They didn't bring in cadaver dogs till months later. Like, you gave so many people opportunities to clean up crime scenes, and just the things that are being said are absolutely bizarre. But still, there's no physical evidence in this case. Just like Sebastian Rogers, no physical evidence in none of it. Will these cases ever be solved? Will Jack and Lilly ever be solved? I don't believe, me, myself personally, I don't believe those kids went into the woods. Is it possible that they could have? Absolutely. Just like in the Sebastian Rogers case. It's possible they could have got out and went into the woods. Me, myself, I think it's highly unlikely that took place. And then you go, okay, well, let's give them the benefit of the doubt, and the kids did get out. Why do they act so strange, right? Hold on, I got to cut my car on because it's, at least let me cut on the thing so my phone don't die. I'm at 20% battery on my phone. What the hell's going on here? Boom! I didn't want to start the car. I just wanted to turn on the phone charger. So let me cut that off. This car is too loud to live stream in and have the engine on. I just wanted to cut the power on. You think to yourself, well, kids could accidentally get out, and I don't tend to want to blame family members of doing wrong to their kids, but we had this family, just like in the Sebastian Rogers, they went at each other. Daniel went after Malaya. Malaya went after Daniel, right? Accused him of meth. Daniel accused her of taking the kid to a native reservation, First Nation. I don't want to say it wrong. Canadians are big about don't F up their First Nation, right? You better put some respect on the First Nation when you talk about it, right? So, I took them to a First Nation reservation, and but gave multiple stories, right? Gave multiple stories, at least 3 stories, if not more, but passed a lie detector test according to him. Now, we never heard from the RCMP did he pass, right? But I've never really held much weight to this. So you got families that pass lie detector tests. You got no signs of foul play in either case, right? Jack, Lilly, or Sebastian. And, now we're going on a damn year of Jack and Lilly missing, 2 years of Sebastian Rogers missing. In December 7th, he will be 17 years old, little Sebastian Rogers. Are we going to get justice for these kids? And, we hear Daniel, I'm going to search in the time, and we're going to do this, and we're going to do that. But none of that was ever done. Like, nobody's searching for Jack and Lilly. Nobody's out there physically putting search parties together publicly, so where you can volunteer as a normal person. Let's just say I wanted to volunteer for a search party tomorrow for Sebastian. There's not one. There's nobody putting it together, And I'm out of state. I know people will be like, well, why don't you do it, Dolly? Because financially, I'm 1,000 miles from the place, and I would have to be there, which takes plane tickets, hotels, rental cars, stuff like that for me to do it, when there's already people there in Tennessee, right, that could be publicly putting these things together. Could I go at a little point in time here and there and search? Yes, I would help. I would do my part. Problem is, we need more people to do that. Even in Canada, like, you need Canadians putting their search parties together. They're there. Why should somebody have to travel 2,000 miles to put a search party together when you have people in the community right there that could be doing this, or the families themselves, and they're not doing it? That's my biggest problem with Seth, Chris, Katie, Daniel, Malaya, is they're not searching for their kids. They may be spreading awareness, talking, but that's not searching. And there's so many people come into my comments, Dolly, they're the only ones searching. Well, where the hell are they searching at? How can I volunteer for their search party? You can't, because they're not physically searching. They're spreading awareness. So people, you need to get that right. You're right. Seth's the only one spreading awareness for his child and Sebastian's family. Daniel, the only one spreading awareness in Jack and Lilly. But they're not searching. They're not searching at all. And that's the heartbreak. That's what I have a problem with. So when y'all say I got a problem with this or that, you're wrong. I got a problem with nobody looking. That's my problem. Dolly, what do you dislike? What do you hate? The fact that nobody's looking. The people, I don't got no ill will in your heart towards me. You're a fellow human being just like me. I have a problem with you people not putting search parties together and looking for your kid. Now listen, you may have loved your kid to death when he was with you, but right now y'all are neglecting your children by not being out there looking for them or trying to get people to get out and organize to find your child. Shout out to Elijah View's family, the little boy that went missing out 2 Rivers, Wisconsin. His family never stopped. They searched. They did what they had to do. You look at Mata in D.C., them people did what they needed to do. All right? There's other families that set a prime example of what you're supposed to do. And that's what I like to see. Okay? I like to see people come together, a family that's saying, hey, no, we're not going to deal with this. We're not going to take this. We're going to find answers. I just don't see it in these cases. And that's what I want to see. Y'all leave y'all thoughts and comments in the comment box down below. I'm going to get ready to get out here and go eat my damn sandwich. I will see y'all later tonight for call in, true crime, all that good stuff. But I just wanted to touch in on those 2 things because, you know, some of these comments get to me that I'm just mad at somebody or something like that. I'm not mad at nobody. I'm mad at the situation. Dolly loves you guys. Peace.